We're also joined now by Nikki Haley, who traveled to Afghanistan in 2018 while she served as UN ambassador. She says President Biden has, quote, badly bungled this withdrawal and as a consequence has made the United States less safe when the interest was national security in the first place. Ambassador, good to have you with us today. This is obviously an increasingly tenuous and tense situation, and we're now learning a little bit more about what President Biden has told the G7 about our inclination to get out as quickly as we can, it sounds like. Your thoughts?
I mean, this is a sad day for America. I can't believe what a coward Joe Biden has turned out to be. This is a moralistic failure in a way that is unimaginable for the United States of America. The ones I feel the worst for are our American men and women who sacrificed and served, and their families over 20 years, who looked those Afghan allies in the eyes and said, because you've helped save our lives, we're going to take care of you. And when those soldiers take off on that plane, knowing that there are American citizens on the ground, that is a mental anguish they are going to have for the rest of their lives. We are known in this world for having a strong value of life. We value life. That's what separates us from every other country in the world. And the idea that we would leave American citizens to die, the idea that we would leave those people who stood shoulder to shoulder with us and kept people like my husband alive and all of these soldiers alive because we made them a promise. The idea that Joe Biden is a coward because he doesn't know what it means to have to serve. He doesn't know that these soldiers would do anything to go save those American citizens. This is a catastrophic failure. It's a sad day for America. It's Joe Biden's most cowardly moment, and it truly goes to show that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris do not deserve to lead this country. We're better than this.
Well, Kamala Harris is in Vietnam, has really said almost nothing about what's unfolding right now. It's very surprising. I think most Americans would look at that and wonder why both the president and the vice president aren't 100% focused and in the White House on this issue. We also know, just based on how these things play out, that a address to the nation that was supposed to happen at 1 o'clock is now being pushed later and later in the day. There is no doubt that there's a lot of consternation and discussion going on right now behind the closed doors at the White House. But let's talk about what the American people seem to think about this, Ambassador Haley. This is a new poll from USA Today, and it is a dire poll for President Biden. The overall approval number is 55, disapproval, I should say, 55%. He's now underwater at a 41% approval rating, and that's for the total job that he's doing. Now go to the next line down, which is just on Afghanistan, which no doubt is dragging the top number lower. Disapproval, 62% of how the president's handling this. Only 26% of the nation, Ambassador, approve of how the president is handling this. So this is clearly not lost on the American people.
Well, it's not lost on the American people, but I think you also have to look at the fact that Joe Biden has spent his 7 months in office dividing our country over defunding the police, dividing our country over allowing inflation to kick in, dividing our country over cancel culture and these types of issues, and now we're paying the price for it. And he's seeing it in the polls. Americans are not happy. This is not who we are as a country. We're better than this.
So, interesting piece today in the Wall Street Journal by Bill McGurn, which shows the photo of of Taliban fighters wearing U.S. uniforms. We've heard the astronomical numbers of Black Hawk helicopters, of vehicles, of armed vehicles, of enormous number of weapons that have been taken by the Taliban. We have ways to destroy this equipment, to make sure that this equipment doesn't fall into the wrong hands. We all remember during the bin Laden raid, the chopper that went down was then immediately destroyed so that the technology on it could not be used by the Taliban. What do you say to the lack of addressing this part of the story at this point, Ambassador?
You know, it didn't have to be this way. I am in awe, Martha, that literally he gave up Bagram Air Force Base, which was a major NATO hub. It was a huge intelligence hub for us and our allies. He gave away $85 billion of equipment and weapons to the Taliban. You know, I was watching with my husband yesterday this video, and we're looking at this video, and the Taliban, he said, those are our weapons. They were holding our weapons. They were riding in our vehicles, and they were wearing our American uniforms. And they were sitting there holding hands with al-Qaeda saying death to America. This is a disgrace on a level we've never seen. This is a stain Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will not recover from. But this is bigger than that. How are we going to look an ally in the face again and tell them to trust us? How are we going to go and tell Taiwan they're going to be okay? How are we going to go tell Ukraine not to worry about Russia? How are we going to go tell the American people that there will never be another 9/11? Because Joe Biden single-handedly made America less safe today. He stained America. And our allies are shaking their heads to the point that you actually have the EU and NATO trying to figure out if they even need us anymore. All of this didn't have to happen. He did this. He has to pay the price for this. And our military men and women deserve better respect than what he's giving them today. He is cowardly getting out. He's surrendering to the Taliban. He's surrendering to hate and to everything that's terroristic, and it's such an insult to those families who lost over 3,000 lives in 9/11 that we're going to have a Taliban flag flying over Afghanistan on the 20th anniversary of 9/11. It's disgusting. It's sickening. I can't believe this is happening in our country today.
As Bill McGurn wrote in the Wall Street Journal today, it has forever surrendered 9/11 to Islamic fundamentalists. It is now what they meant it to be in 2001, their day of victory. Final thought on that, Ambassador.
You know, I think that what we have to do is I refuse to let the United States of America be a victim. We have to stand up. We don't have to abide by this August 31st deadline. We don't have to leave Americans in Afghanistan to die. We don't have to leave our Afghan allies. We need to go to work. We can do this. We can pull our allies together. We can get over this August 31st deadline. We need to go to our Americans and find them. We need to bring them home. We need to go to these translators that saved thousands of troops and let them know we are going to take care of you the way you took care of us. It doesn't have to be this way. I refuse to believe this, because any military commander, any military soldier like my husband would do whatever it took to make sure that we did what America's always known to do. We leave no man or woman behind, ever. And we can't do this. This will change the entire character of our country going forward. This will change the way the world sees America. This will change the way our children see America if we don't do the honorable thing, the right thing, and make sure we bring home every single American and friend that deserves to be away from the Taliban and does not deserve to have their life taken, and such a brutalistic death the way they're going to see it.
Former ambassador to the UN, former governor of South Carolina, Nikki Haley, thank you very much. Good to see you today. It's a tough day for the country.
Thank you.